all natives have their stories that they like to share with other natives. So that way we all know that we're all still like in the same similar situation. You know, most tribes are more genocide than the others, but we all still hanging in strong.
Okay, one of the things that we did at Native American Health Center in partnership with Intertribal Friendship House is we hosted a community-based history class. We met for 6 evenings on Wednesdays, and we always had childcare, and we always had a meal at these meetings. And we would see some content of history that's usually not in the history books together. And this content was displayed through films and some lecture. Professor Miko from Mills College would sometimes start out with a short lecture, then we'd see a film, and sometimes she'll follow up with another short lecture, and then we would have a talking circle. So at the class, we got to process the history that we were hearing, and it was very helpful to people, based on the evaluation that people gave us, because some of us have embodied this history in our being, and we have the anxiety that goes along with having untreated, unresolved grief from prior generations. But if you don't know the story, you don't even really understand what you're responding to, and it's easy to think that you're just kind of crazy and you have anxiety disorders. But when you actually hear the history and you understand what you're responding to, then you understand that your response is a normal response. You are holding the pain for generations prior who had no expression of that pain. And so the history class was a chance to learn about this history, to understand what we're responding to, and to finally be able to exhale, to release some of that pain that we've been holding from our prior generations.
At my time of life, I feel really good at getting a correct education on where I come from. I didn't learn that in public school.
I feel saner, trying to bring some of the history into the larger conversation than just having it, continue to be invisible and live in this world like nothing happened on this land. I mean, I just can't live that way.
The biggest word in vocabulary, if. What if they never would have came? What if? What if we didn't go to boarding schools? What if that never happened? Where would we be?
What if we don't tell them the history? What's the alternative? What if we don't tell our children history?
What sits with me a lot is like being erased from history.
Mama, I don't want to be Indian. I don't want to be killed by a cowboy. And what that said to me is that what he's learning from this mainstream media that is still on today is the genocidal tendencies and the genocidal desires of the mainstream on his body. And he's internalizing that. At the age of 3, he wasn't scared of monsters, he was scared of cowboys.
We see a lot of children enduring microaggressions in the school system where children are challenging their teacher. The response is hostile. So it starts with the child. The child is traumatized, the mother's traumatized, the whole group of parents are traumatized, and it's institutionalized.
How do we not have the angry child? How do we have the informed child? Who can kind of stand up. I went to my son's first grade class when one of the kids who was from China or Japan, they were talking about their histories, and he said, well, I'm Seminole, and they said, well, you couldn't be Indian, all the Indians are dead.
I feel like the comment of everybody, or the dominant conversation being, oh, I didn't know that there were, but everybody was gone, and that being one comment, and then the other one of maybe at best moving to the position of, well, I know, and it's such a sad story, and it's too bad. Hearing that kind of response and thinking, okay, but like you're saying, does that imply what's next?
A lot of Native people that don't know their history. Sad. A lot of people don't know their roots. Not only Natives but non-Natives.